So in this video, we're going to look at reflections. So we're continuing with our transformations part. So we're looking at how to transform, how to shift functions. And in the previous video, we looked at horizontal and vertical translations. And now we're going to look at reflections. So if you know the graph of f of x, if you know the graph has a known graph, right? So suppose f of x is a function and this has a known graph. So if you do minus f of x, then the graph of f of x is reflected over the x-axis. And let's visualize, right? One common example is y is equal to x squared. So the graph looks something like this. And if you consider minus, so this is f of x, right? F of x. So if you consider minus f of x, which is going to be minus x squared, you know that that is going to be the blue curve, and it's reflected over the x-axis. All right. So number 2, f of minus x is the graph of f of x is reflected over the y-axis. And that's all you need to know. And we can look at one example of this. Let me think of an example. Say f of x is equal to, let's say 2x plus 1. So the graph of 2x plus 1 will look something like this, right? And f of minus x is going to be minus 2x plus 1. So the graph is going to look something like this. And it's going to be the graph of f of x reflected over the y-axis. All right. So now that we have done, so we need to remember these two important points. So if it's minus f of x, it's the graph of f of x reflected over the x-axis. And if it's f of minus x, then it's the graph of f of x reflected over the y-axis. All right. That is all that we needed to know. So we can start doing some questions with that in mind. All right, so diagrams show this function. So sketch the graphs of each of the following functions. Minus, so I'll do this in blue. Minus g of x is you reflect the graph over the x-axis, right? So 1, if you have positive 1, and you reflect it, you have to get negative 1, right? Now this is, so now if you reflect this part, right? So negative 2, you have positive 3, then that should go to negative 3, right? And if you have 1, negative 1, you have, say, 2 point something, then at negative 1, you should have negative 2 point something. So your graph, this part looks something like this, if you reflect it, right? All right. And now at negative 3, if you had negative 2, then at negative 3, when you reflect it over the x-axis, you have positive 2. So your graph looks something like this. So this is minus g of x. And g of minus x, you want to reflect it over the y-axis. So I'll do it with red. All right. So g of minus x. And let me turn on my laptop real quickly so that I can sort of confirm as we go on. All right. So this is for b, you want to reflect it over the y-axis. All right. So if at 1 you have positive 1, then you keep the y value, but you want it to be at negative 1 and negative 2. So this part, if you reflect it over, you're going to get this straight line, right? If you reflect this part over. All right. And then this part is going to stay the same. At negative 2, if you had 3, then you're going to have 3 at positive 2. So this part is going to reflect like this, right? And then I need to reflect this part over as well. So at negative 3, if I had minus 2, then I'm going to have minus 2 at positive 3. And now I need to draw this straight line. All right, so something like this. So this is g of minus x. So it just reflected the graph, given graph, over the y-axis. All right. So that is your solution. Now let's sort of think about why this works. So if I have f of x is equal to 3, then minus f of x is going to be minus 3, right? So let's say f of 1 is 3. So 1 comma 3 is a point here. So minus f of 1 is minus 3. So it's just getting, all points are getting reflected over the x-axis, right? That makes sense. Now, again, if I had f of 1 is equal to 3, then f of minus 1, right, is going to be equal to 3. So this is the function f of x. This is the function of f of minus x. So to get the same output for f of minus x, I need to put in the negative output. So if I had 1 giving me 3 for f of x, for f of minus x, I have minus 1 giving me 3. So I need to put minus 1. So minus 1 is somewhere here, 1 is somewhere here, right? That gives me the same output. So that is why this is similar to flipping over the y-axis. All right, so we're done with question 1. So let me erase this. Question 2. So find the equation of each graph after the given translation. So y is equal to 5x squared after reflection in the x-axis. So minus f of x, right? So that is going to be minus 5x squared. So reflection over the x-axis. So if f of x is equal to 5x squared, to reflect it, we need to take minus f of x. So that is going to be minus 5x squared. And then we have y is equal to 2x to the power 4 after reflection in the y-axis. So if f of x is equal to 2x to the power 4, to reflect over the y-axis, we need to consider f of minus x. So that is 2 minus x to the power 4. All right, so it's going to be minus x to the power 4, which is just 2x to the power 4. Because it's an even number, so the minus sign will become positive. So it's the same equation. All right, so we want this expression after reflection in the y-axis. So basically f of minus x. So that is going to be 2 minus x squared minus 3 minus x plus 1. So that is 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. So just the sign of the middle term is going to change. And minus 5x squared, the same equation, the sign of the middle term has changed. And finally, we need to reflect this over the x-axis. So just minus f of x. So that gives you 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. All right, and we're done with question 2. And finally, we have question 3. So this is f of x. This is f. So this is minus f of x, right? If you take the negative of each term, you get this. So this is a reflection over x-axis. Then we have this expression. The sign of the middle term has changed. And if you check, this is going to be f of minus x, if this is f of x. So this is a reflection over y-axis. And this one, the sign of the terms has changed. So this is f of minus f of x. This is a reflection over x-axis. And again, I think if this is f of x, then this is minus f of x, because the sign of the terms, all the terms have changed. So this is reflection. So if it is a polynomial expression and only the sign of the odd power term changes, then it's going to be y-axis. But all the terms have changed their sign, so this is going to be a reflection over x-axis again. And we're done with this topic. All right.